The drive to Coos Bay passes through the Umpqua River Valley, one of the prettiest spots in Oregon. I couldn't resist spending a little time on the river. What a shock it was to go from such world-class beauty to some of the worst poverty in Oregon. Coos Bay looks like there hasn't been a new building in a generation, except the casino. I talked to a bunch of interesting people. Their stories are poignant. They love the southern Oregon coast, and the memory of Coos County's vibrant economy is still strong.
Weyerhaeuser came here in the early 50s and opened up a sawmill, and then a particle board plant and a plywood plant. Had a big dock for loading ships with their lumber products.
At one point in time, we moved almost 1 billion board feet of packaged lumber from the Oregon coast to Southern California.
We were the world's largest lumber exporting port.
But after 3 decades of decline, there's not a lot of hope.
I graduated from Marshfield in 1974. We had a student body of 2,500 students. The population of Coos Bay was approximately the same that it is now. How many students do you have at Marshfield now? 750, 800 maybe?
We went from being a very, very vigorous and vital economy to practically nothing.
Our young kids today need more hope. They need something better for their future, and what we've been offering in this area has been extremely limited.
There's no jobs here. There's no work here for people.
I wonder if folks up in Portland, where I live, understand the human damage our leaders caused when they shut down the timber industry. Commissioner Sweet sure understands.
It's beautiful here and it's a great place to live, but our social statistics are just horrible. We have, for example, probably twice the rate of child neglect and abuse here in the state compared to the rest of the state. We have a child abuse case reported more than once every other day. We rank second or third worst in the state in poverty, in substance abuse, spousal abuse. It just goes downhill from there. Our graduation rates from our schools are horrible. The amount of children that qualify for free and reduced lunch is very, very high. Poverty, I think, we're amongst the 2 or 3 worst counties in the state.
Then I heard about a project that would breathe new life into the southern Oregon coast. A private company wants to invest $7.5 billion to build a liquefied natural gas export facility near the port of Coos Bay.
It's a game changer for the southern Oregon coast. It, I believe, will be the largest construction project ever in the history of Oregon. $6 to $8 billion of construction, 6 million man-hours estimated. In the early construction phases, they're talking about 1,500 to 2,000 employees.
It could be the key to reviving Coos Bay's middle class.
It brings a construction phase initially of 4 years with several thousand people coming through in that workforce. And I believe that that's where some of the rebuilding of this middle class will start.
LNG means jobs, and this city definitely needs jobs.
We don't get opportunities like this. We don't have the Nikes. We don't have the Intels that come looking to locate in towns like Coos Bay.
The way they see it, it all boils down to a pretty simple proposition.
You're either growing or you're dying, and right now we're dying.
There is opposition to the plant, mostly from various environmental groups who don't like fossil fuels. These are basically the same types who stopped timber cutting in the 1980s. That's what sent Coos Bay into a 3-decade depression in the first place. The political leaders who can make it happen aren't exactly stepping up.
They are so worried about the next election. They're so worried about getting elected. They will not, in my opinion, come out and have good and honest debates about many subjects at all. They're all for jobs until they don't want to take on the environmental coalitions that are opposed to this.
But it does seem that they've managed to bring a few key political leaders around.
Wyden, he was, I think, cautious about this, and duly so, but he's changed his mind on that, and he's been very, very supportive of it.
How about the governor? It seems like the governor is the one leader who can make this project happen. I asked Commissioner Sweet if he knew where the governor stood.
The governor has remained neutral on it, but that's fine. We can live with that.
Neutral? The governor of Oregon is neutral on a project that would turn the light switch on in a region of Oregon that has spent 30 years in a depression. I'm starting to understand why Oregon's economy has been heading in the wrong direction. I was struck by the irony. Coos Bay was devastated when environmental groups convinced political leaders to shut down logging on state and federal forests. Now, the LNG project has given Coos Bay hope again. Will the same environmental groups prevail again? Will our leaders sell Coos Bay out again? I don't think we'll be reading about this in the New York Times anytime soon.